In today's video, we are going to be talking about the best booster boxes that you could be buying right now for under $250. There's a lot that we are going to get into. We're going to look at historical performance. We're going to look at existing sets and just best plays you could be making right now. Before we jump in, make sure you guys are subscribing. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. Very much appreciate that support. Anytime you are buying anything on eBay, take 2 seconds, click this link at no additional cost to you. You are supporting the channel in more ways than you know. Thank you so much. And if you guys ever want to get the hottest sets, Ascended Heroes, Prismatic Evolutions, Destined Rivals at under market pricing, cheaper than anywhere else you will find, with unlimited quantity to factory sealed cases, we have 2 different tiers. We have our starter tier, which is for those who are just starting out, and then we have the elite tier for more serious operators, people who are spending thousands of dollars a month on Pokemon cards. Check it out after watching this video. So really quick, I wanted to start. Sword and Shield. Early Sword and Shield. Battle Styles right here is a great one at $250, where it's just kind of sitting stagnant right now. And what I'm seeing is there's a lot of boxes in the Sword and Shield era that are just not moving right now. All of the attention is on Mega Evolution. Even Scarlet Violet stuff isn't moving as much. And Sword and Shield, I mean, forget about it. That stuff is sold at this point that people just aren't talking about it. When I think of Battle Styles, I'm thinking of 3 sets. I'm thinking Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, Battle Styles, because those were the 3 boxes that you could have bought when Fusion and Chilling Reign were $85, $90 shipped a box. Battle Styles was like $80. Okay, I mean, cases of this stuff was like under $500. And Fusion Strike is already over 1,000. There was a record sale recently of like 1.1. Chilling Reign I haven't checked, but off the top of my head, I'm going to assume it's like a $600 box. And those boxes have made gains. Battle Styles has sat absolutely flat. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, Fusion Strike is a way better set, so let me park my money there. Except you could buy 4, almost 5 boxes. You could almost buy a whole case. You could buy 2/3 of a case of Battle Styles relative to 1 Fusion box. On a percentage scale gain, you have significantly higher odds, I think, with something like Battle Styles. Because, again, this set, sure, it's not nearly as hype as Fusion. It doesn't have an Espeon, Gengar, etc. But what it does have is it does have the Sleepy Tyranitar. And that's an incredibly difficult alt art to pull. I've opened a ton of Sword and Shield era boxes. I've hit alt arts in every Sword and Shield set, but I've never hit the Sleepy Tyranitar, and that is one that just like nobody ever talks about. So I think Battle Styles is just, it's a great place to be going in right now because it can't get any cheaper. It could really only go up. We saw that there was a little action at like 270, but then it just came right back down, and it's just very little demand on this product. But what's fascinating is if I go to Sword and Shield base, I mean, we're talking $600 a box. Now, if you compare Sword and Shield base to Battle Styles, opening wise experience and top hits to pull, Battle Styles is way better. The only reason that Sword and Shield is as expensive as it is because it's old. So like if you're looking to do a booster box collection and you want it, Sword and Shield came out in 2020, so this is a 6-year-old box, now at $600, whereas Battle Styles came out in 2021. Like it only came out a year later, but it's more than 50% off. It's like 60-70% cheaper than a Sword and Shield base box. And the pricing just doesn't make any sense to me. I understand why the prices are flat. And I'm telling you guys, the prices are flat is because there's just no demand on it, meaning that there's no concentrated buyouts. But as time goes on, even the most garbage sets tend to appreciate because when I think about this type of box, I'm thinking Crimson Invasion, which is even older. That is something that nobody wanted. Steam Siege, nobody wanted. Like a Steam Siege box, it's a 4-figure box. I don't know how much they are, but it's definitely over $1,000. And eventually Battle Styles will get to that same rate. It's just fascinating to see how in that trio of Fusion, Chilling, and Battle Styles, Fusion has made moves, Chilling has made moves, but Battle Styles just sat stagnant. So I think at $250, you really can't go wrong by this box. Now, I'm not saying go all in, buy a bunch of boxes, but at least have 1 or 2 boxes because, again, at this price, it's a very safe play that you could make that could have lucrative returns when the market inevitably shifts. Another similar one is Scarlet Violet base, and I'm going to even argue that Scarlet Violet base, between Battle Styles and Scarlet Violet base, I'd be buying Scarlet Violet base. And I know what you're thinking. Battle Styles is 2021. It's got the Sleepy Tyranitar, except Scarlet Violet base is kind of a historic set, at least in my book. It came out March 31st, 2023, but the reason why it's historic is this is the first set in Pokemon TCG history that has introduced gray border cards. Prior to this, every single Pokemon card had yellow borders. This was the first set where we had that shift. It was something entirely new. The legendary Pokemons are insane. The Koraidon Miraidon combos excellent. The ETB promos have been skyrocketing of both of those, yet the booster box is just sitting flat. You have cool EX cards, even like Arcanine Gyarados. You have the Chase Waifu card in there. I think it's Miriam. Miriam is the trainer card, something like that. And all of that combined into one, it's surprising that, again, this box just hasn't moved. And we're facing the same thing as Battle Styles, where there's just no demand. Like, nobody's talking about it, nobody's buying it. But I'm thinking at $250, and we're going to talk about Perfect Order really quick for those before you click off the video. Like, Perfect Order, you have way more time to buy because we haven't even seen Wave 2 come out. So I would not be like investing or going all in on Perfect Order. I would go back 3 years, start picking up Scarlet Violet base. And how I know that this is going to be a good play is I just look at Sword and Shield base. Sword and Shield base, $600-700 a box. And Scarlet Violet still sitting at $250. Like, at some point, this is going to break through. And what's going to happen is this set is just, like, this box is going to stay flat at, like, $250. And it's just going to start creeping up. And you're going to check in, like, a year, 12, 18 months, 24 months. It's going to be a $400 box. It's going to be a $400 box because every other Scarlet Violet box will start trending up. And the base set one is the one that's not moving right now. You know, you look at Twilight, you look at Stellar, you look at all these other, like, mid-era within the Scarlet Violet era, like, those are already pushing over 300, yet SVO1 is just sitting at 250. It doesn't make much sense for me. Again, not a box that I'm like going all in on, but any chance I get to buy a box, I'm thinking at this price, it literally can't go down. It can't go down. If the worst of the worst product released of all time, of what everybody thinks Perfect Order, is holding the line at 200, I mean, something that's been out for 3 years for only $50 more, like, you are miles off better buying SVO1 than you are Perfect Order. And another one I want to talk about is Rebel Clash. I mean, when I'm thinking like trash, unpleasurable, no fun opening experience, I'm thinking Rebel Clash. $500 box, you guys. $500 box for the Sword and Shield second set. This one also released in 2020. COVID, sure, might have been manufacturing delays, not as much hit in the market, whatever the excuses. But when I look at these boxes, I'm just looking at the age. You know, 2020, these boxes are $500-700. 2021, $250. 2023, $250. Like, the price just, it's such a big discrepancy. I am not recommending buying Rebel and Sword and Shield. I think these are more like a collector's item. I wouldn't necessarily say this is like an investor's item, but, you know, being able to buy in at $250, like, eventually both of these boxes are going to mimic what Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield base did. And it might not happen immediately, but it will happen. So it would be a nice product to diversify into. And I think it'd be even better off getting a sealed case if you're in a position to do that. Because right now, for an extra like $100 or $200, you could get a sealed case of either Battle Styles or Scarlet Violet base versus Perfect Order. And again, in this video, I'm not talking about the really hype stuff. I'm not talking about Ascendant. I'm just talking about booster boxes in that $250 range. If you are considering buying a Perfect Order box or a case for like $1,200-1,300, I think you're better off adding 200 and getting something that's been out for 3 years, which would be this, or something that's been out for 5 years, which is this. You know, these are the types of products that are going to make moves faster than something like Perfect Order. Like, you have a lot of time with Perfect Order. Don't be rushing into Perfect Order right this second. In the same way that people are rushing into Ascended Heroes, like, don't be doing that with Perfect Order when talking about booster boxes. It's difficult to compare because right now we're only talking about standard sets. We're not, you know, everybody's going to say, oh, just buy prismatic, right? But those are all specialty sets. We're talking about standard sets, best booster boxes you could be buying. I'm thinking these two are my picks. These two are my picks. And again, I think in the next 12, 14, 18 months, we will be seeing $400 on both of these boxes because the prices, they just can't stay flat forever. Not if these trash sets that are far worse have hit these prices, like, these just can't, you know, they can't be $300-400 cheaper. It wouldn't make much sense. And then the last product is Chaos Rising. This is another one where, like, right now, if you want to get one for opening experience, sure, buy it on release. But it's not the type of product that, like, you should be worried about building positions immediately because, again, we have the wave release. We have wave structured. Wave 1's going to come out. We're going to wait, I don't know how long, 2-3 weeks, maybe 1 to 2 months, and then we'll get wave 2. I don't even think we got Perfect Order Wave 2 boxes yet. I mean, the entire wave stuff is just such a mess. Like, it's so hard to keep up with because there's so many SKUs, so much waves. On some products, I know with very large accounts, they even get like a wave 3. Like, just keeping up with all that it's a mess. And that's also part of the reason. Really quick, if you made it this far into the video, I'm going to drop some free game. Make sure you are subscribed if you're still here with me. Perfect Order, Chaos Rising, Phantasmal Flames. One thing that you need to understand is that these are all smaller sets. And the reason why they're making smaller sets right now is because it is significantly easier on the manufacturing side to produce these smaller sets. That is enabling the Pokemon Company to catch up with reprints. And it's also, more importantly, it's enabling them to make sure that they could get enough product printed when we do hit the 30th anniversary. Because now imagine the situation where 30th anniversary comes out and the Pokemon Company just absolutely nukes the allocation numbers across the board. Like the supply is abysmal. On release, they're not producing anything, and you get all the product in Wave 2. What you got to understand is the Pokemon Company has already announced that for 30th anniversary, they are doing a simultaneous release, first time in history where every single country is getting the products at the same time. Usually how it works is the Japanese market gets their product first, and like 1 to 2 months later, the American market gets the product. But for 30th anniversary, they're not doing that. Everybody's getting it at the same time. And part of the reason why I think they're doing that is maybe to prevent with like scalping and getting US-based buyers to be focused on Japanese. Like they want Japanese 30th anniversary to be for people in Japan, and they want 30th anniversary for US buyers to be in America. Like they're trying to keep that separate instead of having all these countries buying from each other. But again, the reason why these sets have to be smaller right now is because they need to be prepared. They need to be prepared. And what does that mean for you buying or investing in these products? Well, I think it means one of two things. The first is not a huge likeliness for reprints immediately. Like the reprints of these boxes could come, but I would argue right now that we're not going to see even booster box reprints. I think if they are going to be reprinting this stuff, it's going to be the stuff that they have already been reprinting, which is like booster bundles, ETBs, things like that. And I don't know why. I think the reason why they're concentrating more on booster bundles is because you could get 6 times as many booster bundles as one booster box, right? Like you get 6 packs in a booster bundle, multiply that by 6 bundles, that's 36 packs, versus one booster box of 36 packs. So you're able to get it to 6 times as many people. But then again, I don't know if that's necessarily why they're doing it, or if they're just like lowering the boxes. One thing that I know for certain with Chaos Rising is they are not increasing. They're not increasing the number of boxes. They're increasing all the ancillary stuff. The same thing already started happening with Perfect Order. The biggest increase I have noticed was in the ETBs. That was also the first time where they made the shift on a standard set with the new printing and the sliding mechanism as well. With an increase. It's like that new plastic part in the ETBs as opposed to the paper. So yeah, there's just a lot happening in the market right now. But overall, to return back to the entire video, best boxes buy under 250. We're looking at SVO1. We're looking at Battle Styles. Very bullish on both of these. There's going to be some hate comments saying that these are trash sets. But again, these right here are trash sets. And look at how expensive they are. So take it from someone who's been doing this for a very long time. These old boxes, they just can't be at these prices forever. Get them while you can. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to join the wholesale program. And with that, we'll catch you here on the next one.